I've been testing out some new makeup and it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel and in today's video I'm sharing with you all of my thoughts on some brand new makeup, both from the drugstore and from high end. Some of them I absolutely love and some of them you can definitely pass on. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. I don't have any new eyebrow products to test at the moment, so they are already done and I've already prepped my skin with my Embryolisse Moisturiser Primer. As normal, there are no first impressions here. I have been testing these out thoroughly for the past couple of weeks now. So we're going to kick off with a new concealer from Makeup Forever. This is the HD Skin Full Cover Concealer and this retails for around about €35. Now the interesting thing about this is that it does come with a built-in brush. Now as you can see, I've not used it because I wanted us to use that together. I have been using the concealer with a normal brush, but I'm very interested in how this is going to work. I don't know whether this is going to be genius or a complete disaster. So I picked this up in the shade 1N14, which is the shade that I wear in the Makeup Forever foundation. Just an ordinary doe foot applicator. I think the shade is fine. It could be maybe slightly too light for me. So as I said, this costs €35, but you get a whopping 9ml of product, which is a lot. It is a lot. Some concealers you will get these days might have 5ml in. So you are getting quite a bit for your money. And it comes in 36 shades, which is really, really good. So it claims to be a 36-hour full coverage concealer. Please tell me who is wearing their concealer for 36 hours. I mean, please. It claims to have a super lightweight formula. It has no cakiness, no creasing. It has a smooth, flawless and semi-matte natural finish that stays in place all day. Yeah, let's just whack it on. Obviously this is my bad eye, and look, I'll just tell you straight off the bat that this doesn't conceal all of my darkness, and I think that is partly my fault because of the shade that I picked. Probably should have picked more of a peachy toned shade in order to colour correct all the darkness. So I have found that I have to wear a colour corrector with this in order to get rid of all of my darkness. Right, we're going to give this little brush a whirl. Why am I scared? And it's quite dense and obviously it's very little. Okay, let's give it a whirl. I wanted to do this with you on camera for the first time. So just tapping. I don't really like how super dense it is. It's very firm. It's very firm. Much more firm than my usual BK Beauty concealer brush. Well, I'm not sure I like it. I mean, look, in theory, it's great because, you know, you could just take this with you and you don't have to worry about a brush. And in that sense, if you like to take your concealer out with you, which sometimes I do, if I'm going on a night out, I mean, it's handy. It's handy for touch-ups, but do I like it for application? Not massively. So that's just one layer. And, you know, I put a fair bit on there. And you can still see my darkness peeking through. So yeah, and I have built this up and I will build it up for you today as well. And I've just found that, yeah, I don't get a whole lot of coverage. Can you see there? Still see my darkness. I'm going to get another brush. So I'm going to use my usual BK Beauty A506 for the other side. What I will say about this concealer is it's very hydrating. It feels really nice. It feels very creamy. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel dry. So that, I mean, that looks fine there. I don't really need to build that side up very much, but I'm going to build up this side. So I do like how it feels and it blends beautifully. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel like a full coverage concealer, but I don't think it performs like a full coverage concealer either, but I do appreciate the fact that it doesn't feel drying. Now, despite the fact that it doesn't feel drying, I do feel like it creases a little bit on me. So I have taken my time to test this. I've tested it with all sorts of powders. I've tested it with colour correctors. And whereas the creasing isn't horrific, it definitely sinks into my little fine lines, especially within this area. So it's not like here, it doesn't look dry, but I definitely find myself looking in the mirror and going, I need to pat those creases out. So yeah, it feels nice, but is it a new holy grail? No, not really. Not really, no. I have bought the new Chanel concealer, just to let you know. So I mean, I'm yet to fully test that, so I will get a review out soon. But yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't like this product. I just don't love it. Does that make sense? I just don't love it. It's just fine. It's nice. And I did just want to mention that this concealer does contain niacinamide. I sometimes don't get along with niacinamide, so I'm thinking that's why I feel like my eyes don't look the best they can. I think it's nice, but it's just fine. It's unremarkable in my opinion, and I think there are much better concealers out there. Okay, it's fine. It's nice. That's all I can say, really. So I finally got my hands on the new YSL All Hours Glow Foundation. This cost me €50, and for that, you get 25ml. Little cheekies, yeah, 25ml. What happened to the usual 30ml that we get? So I'm paying €50 for 25ml. Why? I used to wear YSL foundations all the time. My absolute holy grail was the YSL Touche Éclat foundation that I think they discontinued that ages ago. And from what I read, this is supposed to be a little bit of a reformulation of that. Now, obviously, they have the All Hours matte foundation. I've never tried that because I don't like matte foundations, and it's a full coverage foundation, and I knew that I wouldn't like it. Now, this is also a full coverage foundation, not usually something that I would opt for. However, the glow won me over. It did. It won me over. So this claims to be a weightless formula that provides buildable coverage with a second skin glow finish. It's designed to instantly even, smooth, and illuminate the skin. It is a serum-based formula enriched with hyaluronic acid and, say it with me, niacinamide. For those of you that are wondering, it does contain denatured alcohol. I think it comes in 40 shades as far as I can see, and the shades are an issue. This has been such a big stress for me. Right, let me talk to you about it. First of all, the shade that I got. This is the second shade that I got. So I purchased this from Boots. Now, first of all, trying to choose your YSL foundation shade, it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, is choose my YSL foundation shade. There is no help. And that's YSL's fault. It's not the fault of Boots, because obviously I went onto the YSL website. I ordered LN8 neutral shade on the deeper end of light. And as soon as the bottle arrived, I knew it was terrible. I knew it was too pale and it looked yellow. So I returned it without opening it. So I thought, well, I probably need 2 shades deeper than that. So I went for MN 1.5. And this is also terrible. Do you know, it probably doesn't look as bad on camera, but it has this orange undertone. So it's obviously supposed to be a neutral shade. It's just not good. I actually contacted Boots and said, look, I've opened this product. This is the second one that I've purchased. I feel like the information on the shades is so poor out there, and I would really appreciate it if you would allow me to exchange this for a different shade. And they actually said that I could. And actually Boots were really, really helpful. Anyway, I decided in the end to keep it. It looks fine on the monitor, but in person, it's orange. It's literally orange. And I just thought to myself, even if I ordered LN9, which is the other shade that I didn't try, I know it's going to be terrible, because I know from watching other people and I don't usually watch reviews, but when I was having difficulty with the shades, I did try and find out what other people were saying, and everybody was saying the same thing. The undertones are awful. If you can go in person to get your shade, I would advise that, because it's a nightmare. It's an actual nightmare. So again, MN 1.5, and yeah, just pure orange. Just orange, yeah. But just to talk about the fluidity, as you can see, there's none. I would definitely describe as a full coverage foundation. So we'll go in over here. I mean, it doesn't look bad on the monitor, but it is. It really is. So I've just popped a little bit on my face then. I'm just kind of spreading it out with my finger, because I would say to you, don't go in too heavy with this foundation because you don't need a lot of it. So blending out BK Beauty 101, and it blends out really, really nicely. I thought that this would be super heavy, and it's not at all. Now, once I blend this out, I mean, the colour does kind of mesh in a little bit with my skin. It's just, if I apply, you know, mistakenly a little bit too much of this, you can see how bad the shade is. And yeah, I just, there's nothing worse than looking orange, in my opinion, okay? I don't want to be looking orange. And although it's coming up fine on this monitor, I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's poor. You know, you're charging us 50 quid for a foundation, and you can't even get your undertones correct. I just find that terrible. And you only give us 25 mil? What? Okay, so I've just done this side. That's one side. That's nothing. I absolutely adore the finish of this. Oh my gosh, it's stunning. It really is. I was apprehensive. You can see the shade there. I mean, come on. I was apprehensive about this foundation because I knew it would have quite a lot of coverage, and I definitely prefer more of a light to medium. But wow, the finish of this is stunning. And I've not just worn this once. I have been wearing it every single day. And do you know, there hasn't been a day that I've worn this. Well, no, there has. There was one day that I wore it where I definitely applied too much product, and I felt like it looked a little bit heavy around the usual areas, like around my mouth. But once I'd learned how much to apply of this, unbelievable. Absolutely flawless finish. But you have to apply the correct amount. You don't need to apply a lot of it. So a little bit, I know we all say this, but a little bit definitely does go a long way. Now, the one thing that I have to address about this foundation, and it's a massive negative for me, it's the fragrance. I know you're not surprised, but the fragrance, oh, I'd forgotten. The fragrance is off-putting. It is. I mean, you know what it's like with these luxury brands and their fragrances and their foundations. It's just a bit much. Okay, so there's a full face. In regards to the finish of this foundation, it's a satin finish foundation. So it's not super glowy at all. There's no dew, there's no super glow. But it's not flat matte either, and it's not natural. So for me, it's more of a satin finish. And I would say it's satin because you can still see that radiance and luminosity to the skin. I find it incredibly blurring. Probably one of the most blurring foundations that I've ever used. It doesn't sit into any problematic areas. I have dry skin. It doesn't emphasize any dryness on my skin. And this foundation, I can't tell you how long it lasts on my skin. All day. I couldn't believe it when I would look in the mirror after 12 hours and see it still looking absolutely beautiful. Now, it is a heavier foundation, so it's not going to be something that I'm going to use on an everyday, basis, because I prefer something a bit more lightweight. This could actually be one of the best foundations that I've ever used, honestly. However, it can't be my holy grail foundation because the shade is absolutely terrible. And I know that even if I swapped it out for a third shade, it would still be absolutely terrible. So yeah, it has all the potential, you know, from the packaging, gorgeous, beautiful, to the finish, to the performance. But I just look at me. I look yellow, yellowy orange, and it's not a good look. So yes, I would recommend it if you can get your correct shade. If you can get your correct shade, it's truly beautiful. It really is. Let me just show you a quick before and after of this foundation. So next we're moving on to bronzer and blush, and we're doing it together because I have a 2-in-1 product to share. This is a product by Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Glow and Go. So we have a bronzer on one end and we have a blush on the other. This multi-use stick, it retails for about $16. Now over here, you're talking about 20 euros. So look, I guess you're getting 2 products, so I don't think it's that pricey. So that's why I wanted to try this out. If you are in the UK or Ireland, you can purchase these on Amazon or you can get it from Boots as well. So as far as I can see, there are only 4 colour stories to choose from, and I kind of did struggle to pick which shade I wanted because some of them I wanted a bronzer from one and a blush from another. But anyway, in the end, I went for the shade Sunkissed Rose. So obviously these are cream products. Now the thing to bear in mind about this formula is, again, we have another heavily fragranced product. So very, very strong coconutty smell. I kind of like it. I don't like the YSL foundation smell, but I do actually like the smell of this. Now it is strong. I mean, I would prefer not to have it, but it's not as offensive to me as the YSL. So that's Sunkissed Rose. I would describe that blush as a soft pink, and I would say a light to medium bronzer. Although it's a bronzer and a blush, it does actually claim to be a multi-use product, so you can use it all over. So whether that be on your cheeks, on your lips, on your eyes. So it's made up of Maru butter. I've never heard of that in my whole life. Loads of different types of butters. These are butters from the nutrient-rich Amazon. Wow. With the blush, I like to pick it up with a brush, but with the bronzer, I don't mind going in straight in on the face. So we'll just do a little line here. And what I really like about this is, well, first of all, how beautifully blendable it is. Just going to use a BK Beauty A507 brush. And I love the tone of the bronzer. It's actually perfect because it's not too warm, but it does have some warmth in there like you would expect to get from a bronzer. I think it's stunning. And look at how beautifully that is blending. Seamless, literally seamless. And honestly, I mean, I've tried Physicians Formula. They're not really a brand that are hugely on my radar. I guess because they're a little bit more difficult for me to get a hold of over here. I don't have them in my local drugstore, for example. So I always have to buy online. And yeah, I don't know. They're just not massive over here, basically. But this has pretty much blown me away. This bronzer and this blush, they could pass for any high-end product, honestly. So you can see here how buildable it is. And that's what I love in a bronzer. I don't like anything that's far too pigmented, that just gives me too much payoff and I don't know what to do with it. I love to be able to build to a level that I'm comfortable with. And I just like how really beautiful and natural that is. It just really does become one with your skin. So I'm just going to pop a little bit up here. It's so creamy. Oh my gosh, it's so creamy. I actually think I like this bronzer better than the Morphe bronzer, if I'm honest. I really like this. Really, really love it. I can't tell you how much I enjoy this, and I didn't think I would. I don't know why. I just didn't think I'd like it. I'm going with the blush, but I'm going to go over this swatch and I'm going to pick it up with my BK Beauty 109 brush. So just this flat brush. I'm just going to pick it up. Now, this blush, now I'm not talking about the shade. I'm talking about the formula and the finish. Do you know what it's really similar to? My Dior stick. It is so similar. I even swatched them side by side and they feel so similar. Now, obviously, they're not the exact same. And the Dior, I feel, lasts a little better because it's so long lasting, that Dior blush. But oh my gosh, the formula, when you are applying them, they feel like the same blush, honestly. And I feel like they have the same finish. So this blush, would I call it dewy? I'd say it's a luminous blush, yeah, for sure. But it's not super dewy, it's just glowy. It literally applies identically to the Dior, honestly. It feels so similar. It really does. Look at how buildable that is. Flawless. It's flawless. It is. How many times have I said flawless today? Absolutely love that product. I think it's absolutely stunning, 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 and stunning again. So we're going to move on to the eyes now, and I have a one and done eyeshadow to show you. And this is by Urban Decay. This is one of their naked eyeshadow sticks. This retails for about $25 or 28 euros. As far as I can see, it comes in about 8 shades, and I picked up the shade Toasty, which is this beautiful, stunning bronze. So it's just a twist up applicator. And this has been well used since I've got it. I actually worried that it might be too dark for me, but it's perfect. It's absolute perfection. These claim to be waterproof, crease, transfer and smudge proof. They last for 16 hours. They are lightweight. So I haven't prepped my eyes at all. They are completely bare. So all I'm going to do is twist it up a little bit, and then I'm just going to rub it over my eye like I'm colouring something in, okay? My eye, I'm colouring my eye in. So just going to rub it over. Minimal effort, literally minimal. So I'm just going to take my Real Techniques. This is the base shadow brush, and I'm just going to buff out the edges ever so slightly. I don't really bring shimmery shadows up to my brow bone, but I will do a little bit. But what I might do, I might use a little bit of this in the crease, a bit of the bronzer. I haven't used it in my crease before, but it might look okay. See how easy that was? 2 seconds and you've done your eyes. So again, this is a beautiful shimmery eyeshadow, and let me tell you how long this lasts. This will look the exact same on your eye 14 hours in as it looked when you first put it on. Honestly. See that? You don't even need to use a brush with this. You can just rub it on your eyes. I am really loving this. So if you are someone who appreciates one and done eyeshadows, if you like the Laura Mercier, for example, eyeshadow sticks, then you're going to love these. I have the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow sticks. I have the Laura Mercier. I like this better. Now that's how I've been wearing this eyeshadow, just like this. I mean, I don't really have to put a transition in there. But what you can do is you could go in with some of this Physicians Formula bronzer if you want to have a transition, and take that same Real Techniques brush and just bring it just above that. It would be better to do this bit before you put the glittery shadow on. Yeah, this is one of my absolute favourite products from all of the makeup that I've been testing. I mean, you can't go wrong with a sparkly bronzy eyeshadow. You just can't. I don't have any new mascaras because, let's be real, I have too many of them. So I'm just going to throw on my trusty Essence Lash Without Limits and I'll be back in a mo. So I just popped my mascara on and I just popped a little bit of the eyeshadow. I just ran it under the lash line. It's so pretty. It's absolutely perfect for this time of year. Any time of year, actually. I love it so much. It's been a long time since I've loved something from Urban Decay, so I'm pleased about that. So we're going in with some powder now, and I have this new powder from Nyx. This is the Snatch Loose Powder. So this retails for about €12, but it's tiny. You only get 6 grams of product, so it's a little bit like the L'Oreal Blurfection. They are definitely starting to charge us more and give us less product, and it's kind of annoying me. To be honest, I quite like how compact this is. I think it's really, really cute. And it comes in quite a few shades. So there are brightening shades, which I got a brightening shade. So I picked up the shade Cheeky Cherry, which is a pink shade. So there are 4 brightening shades and there are 4 translucent shades. This is how it looks inside. I do like this twist applicator so that it can actually be closed. And, you know, in theory, it shouldn't be messy, but obviously I didn't get that memo. It's still messy. I've been testing out this powder and I've been testing it not just under my eyes, but on my face as well. Because, well, let me put it on first before I start rambling. So I'm just using my usual old Morphe eyeshadow brush and just popping it under my eyes first. Now, here's the thing, right? I usually use loose powders like this under my eyes and don't normally use a powder on my face ever so much, unless I'm wearing a foundation that I think needs powdering. And I do feel like with this YSL foundation, I do sometimes need to powder it because it is quite glowy. Can you see how glowy it is? And obviously I've got glowy cheap products on as well. Now, being 100% honest, and this is why this is really strange, this powder looks 10 times better on my actual face than it does under my eyes. I don't love it under my eyes. I'm just going to use the same brush and I'm just going to take it just around here. And so I've tested this powder with my Holy Grail concealers and I don't love it. It doesn't stop my creasing. It doesn't set my concealer in place for some reason. Just taking it over my T-zone. However, the bizarre thing for me is that I actually really like it on my face, and I don't normally like loose powders on my face, but this is stunning on the face. Oh my goodness, it looks beautiful. It's super blurring and it sets your makeup in place all day without looking heavy, without looking cakey or powdery or dry. Would I repurchase? I don't know if I would. I really like the look of it around my nose. That sounds so strange, doesn't it? But because I have broken capillaries there, I find them really hard to conceal. But this really does cover everything really nicely. I think I still need to keep testing it, but I just wanted to say that I do think it's beautiful on the face, but I don't love it underneath my eyes. So would it replace my Wet n Wild pink powder? No, this is much cheaper. I can use it all over my face and under my eyes, and I get a ton more product. You get 3 times more product in here than you do in here. So that's just a no-brainer, really. So that's just my personal experience. Maybe I'm just strange. It has been known. We're moving on to some new lip products now. Now I have featured this first one in a recent video. I can't remember which video it was, but this is the Morphe Signature Lip Pencil, and I only picked one of these up. This is in the shade Honey. Now I am going to use it today, but I'm going to use it after my lipstick because I want you to see the lipstick first. The shade Honey, and it retails for about €9, I think it is. This pencil is significantly bigger than any of my other lip liners. It's absolutely massive. It's bigger than my head. So you get 1.5 grams, and I think generally you might get about 1 gram in other lip liners. So you are actually getting a good amount of product there. This is a nice lip liner. It's not groundbreaking, but it's really nice. And I think the first time I used it, I was expecting a little bit more, but I feel like I just needed to warm it up a little bit. I've been wearing this shade a lot. I think the shades are a real plus point with these lip liners. There are so many to choose from, and my usual favourites are the Maybelline lifter liners, but the shade range is abysmal. So I did pick up a new Morphe lipstick. This is the Lip Filter Matte Lipstick. For some reason, I decided to pick up the shade Honey as well. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I don't know what was going through my head. I did actually want to pick up one of the red ones. I don't know. I wasn't thinking at the time. Okay, wasn't thinking. So this lipstick retails for €17, which I think is on the pricey side. They have, again, a great range of shades though. So this claims to be a soft matte lipstick, which is silky smooth and infused with jojoba seed oil, mango butter, and a plumping peptide. So that's Honey in the lipstick, and that's Honey lip liner. It's more of a pinky tone to this one. So look, I'm going to show you on its own the lipstick, and then I'll go in with the lip liner. So that's the shade Honey, and I did just want to say that I really like this packaging. It's extremely sleek. I love the slim bullet, and it has this lovely precision tip which makes application so much easier. So look, the shade, absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. I don't have an issue with the shade. I think it's gorgeous. What I'm going to say is I don't think it's the creamiest matte lipstick I've ever used, and I'm not the biggest fan of matte lipsticks anyway, but I can appreciate a very creamy matte lipstick, okay? One that is going to feel comfortable on the lips. I don't know if you can see there, but it literally sits into all of my lip lines. Can you see? So I don't find it particularly flattering, if I'm honest with you. I don't find it flattering. I feel like I need a bit of the creaminess. I do, to make it feel a bit more hydrating. So I'm very aware that it's on my lips. Although I love the colour and I think it's really nice, I don't love the formula. I don't love it. I think there are much better matte lipsticks and soft matte lipsticks out there at the drugstore that are a lot more affordable than this, and that are a lot more comfortable than this. So yeah, look, it just makes me look like I've got wrinkly lips. Yeah, it does. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of a lip liner over the top. Probably needs a little bit of sharpen, but we'll give it a whirl. So if you want to know if the lipstick is transfer proof, not really. I feel like it's been a bit of a mixed bag today. If I was to tell you which ones I think you could probably skip, I would say the Makeup Forever. I feel like I still have really dark under eyes. It could be better, and I expected more from it. I'm not really the biggest fan of the lipstick, the soft matte lipstick from Morphe. I don't think it's particularly creamy or flattering on my lips. One product that I would place directly in the middle would be the YSL foundation. I love the finish of it. I think it's just so incredibly stunning. But oh my gosh, the shades just let it down. It's just a shame, because this could have been, it could have been my new holy grail. It could have been the best foundation I've ever used. But how can it be if the shade is this colour? How? My ultimate favourites from today are the Physicians Formula, this multi-use stick. So high-end. So high-end. It's absolutely beautiful. Both ends are beautiful, creamy, blendable, last beautifully, worth every single penny. The eyeshadow stick, this has taken top place in my one and done eyeshadow drawer. Whether you want to wear it in the day, whether you want to wear it on a night out, it's extremely versatile, lasts all day, doesn't budge, just so easy and beautiful. I really like the powder, but only on my face. Yeah, so I don't know whether that's a win or not. I really like the lip liner from Morphe. I think it's gorgeous. Let me know if you tried any of these products or if any of them are piquing your interest. I've got a lot more new makeup to feature in the next coming weeks, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.